Since I've had kids, I've never been able to be sick for longer than 24 hours in bed, sick as a dog, run down, don't do anything.
So welcome to another episode of She's Homemade. Thanks for all your support and watching us. Today, we're going to be chatting about our time as women, how we don't feel like it's necessarily always our own.
Once you become a mom, not only is your time not your own, but it's the mental load like we were talking about yesterday. Like, your brain just does not shut off as a mom.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I watched this video the other day, and it was, I wish I could give credit where credit's due, but it was a podcast where two women and a man were speaking. And the women were talking about how they have this constant brain of what they're not doing or what they're not getting to or what they have to do. And it's like, we have to be able to do it all. Yeah. And we're
the constant
worried
need to
and
feel
the
like you have to do it all.
pressures.
Yeah.
And the man chimed in and says, I have never once felt that pressure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like, pardon?
Yeah.
What do you
I know,
mean?
that's a crazy. I think that's true though.
And the women on the show were this, like, they were saying the same. They're like, what do you mean you've never felt that? They don't, men, or he was saying that he has never in his life felt the need or the pressure to do it all, get it all done.
Yeah.
Have everything at the home life and everything at the work life come all together and feel the pressure of doing it all. He has not felt it.
I get sick. I'm like, okay, well, if I lay down for an hour, like,
then
then this doesn't get done. Should I shower? Like, what about my kids? What about, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're constantly thinking about, like, I don't have time to, like, have a sick day. I don't have time to have a sick day.
It's
if I take an entire day off, like, I will be even more behind than I already am.
Exactly. And also it's the pressure of keeping up with it all that if we take time off of anything, our home life or our work life, we feel behind. And I think that us as women and moms are constantly playing catch up.
Yeah.
Even,
I feel like
even
that
if
for
we're
sure.
not, like, we're putting our pressure on ourselves.
Yeah.
We're doing it to our own brains, but we're just wired that way.
Yeah.
And we're wired to worry about everything. We're wired to make sure we're doing everything. And so for us, that list of to-dos never ends. And for us to get sick makes our list longer. And it just, we can't
100%.
do it.
And that's how, like, genuinely I feel. I'm like, I feel like my list is never ending, or not even that it's never ending, because, like, I do take time to myself for sure.
Yeah.
But, like, I know when I take that time to myself that I'm getting further and further behind. Like, I genuinely don't even remember the last time I, like, could sit down and be like, everything is off my plate.
Right. And
like, I have nothing
feel
to
the
do.
guilt? Do you feel guilty when you're sitting doing nothing?
For sure.
I do.
I think so. Yeah. And I think you just, like, and, you know, the reason for that is like, I feel guilty because when I sit down, I'm like, again, I could be doing something else.
Exactly.
Or, I don't feel caught up ever. Like, I don't even know. I'm like, now that you said that, I don't even remember the last time I felt like I was caught up.
Exactly.
In, like, my business and in my home life, like, in both. Because I find, like, there's sometimes where I'm like, oh my God, my house is so clean. This is great. Like, I feel caught up in the house. But then I'm like, to get my house clean, I'd, like, take the whole day off to work and clean it. So now I'm behind with work. And then you just, like, it's a constant, like, never ending struggle.
I don't know if men feel that way. And maybe there's some that do feel that way.
For sure. Yeah.
But this guy took it upon himself to
You're like, I don't have that pressure.
Yeah, he doesn't have that pressure and he's never felt that pressure. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my. And even the women in the video were like, what? What do you mean? Like, you've never felt that? Like, he does not feel the pressure to do it all like women do.
Yeah.
And I think maybe a little bit we've done it to ourselves by saying we can do it all and being working women and working moms. Like, we've probably put the pressure on ourselves and made it difficult for us. But man, like, that rat race in our brains, like, I can't turn it off. And it's exhausting. Whether we take the break or whether we get the break or not, I'm constantly feeling pressure to do something, do more, be present, be with my kids. If I want a break, it's bad, but take a break. Like, we're just being told too many things.
Yeah, and how do we break that, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know.
Real question.
Tips?
Yeah. I'll take some. Like, literally.
It's an ongoing joke now. The dad, man cold, is a thing where they may embellish a little bit or they may exaggerate their symptoms a little bit. But our talk is basically like, I don't think that moms get that.
And I think after you have kids, it's different. Like, my husband used to always joke that he loved being sick. he's like, oh, I used to just like lay on the couch and hang out. And I'm like, but now we have kids.
Yeah.
And like, I can't do that.
Well, exactly. That's the difference, right? Like, I think when men or husbands or dads are sick, they get to go into their room and be sick, and they get to lay down and feel like crap and not want to do anything.
Yeah.
And I don't think women or moms are afforded that same resting space.
Yeah. We aren't. 100%.
I mean, there are always these exceptions, and I'm sure there's husbands out there that will let their wives go. And I mean, I get it, maybe an hour or two at a time, but
when your kids are taken.
I
feel like I don't even get sick like that anymore, and I don't know if it's because like my body knows that I can't. Like I physically just can't get that sick anymore.
We don't have the time to get sick.
I know. No matter how crappy I feel, I'm like I can't just
stop
and do nothing. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm like resentful to like sick people now. Because, like, when my husband gets sick, for example, I'm like, get away from me. Like, and not just get away from me. Like, I don't want to watch you sit on the couch. Like, I don't want to, you know what I mean? I'm like, go to bed, get better. I don't have time for this.
Suck
you know
up.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have time for it. I'm
No.
like, I understand you might have time for it in, like, the nicest way. But I'm like, I don't have time for this. Like,
I don't have time for you to be sick.
Yeah. I don't, like, the kids don't want to get sick. Nobody else wants to get sick. So, like, just, like, leave.
Be done.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. So like I've felt very crappy at times. I felt very sick. I get headaches a lot. So it's like for me when I'm sick, I feel like crap, but I don't lay down. I don't get to rest and sit there. And even if I do, even if my husband says, go take a time, like go lay down in bed, what are my kids doing? Barging in the door, asking me for things, even though their dad's sitting in the same room as them.
Totally.
So I just think that women are not afforded that sickness capability.
The luxury of being sick. Like, Mom. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not ragging on my husband, or I'm not ragging on men, but I just think the differences between our brains and how we're wired, it's probably our own faults and our own pressures. But like, I don't have my own schedule. I work around my kid's schedule.
Yeah.
I wake up to my kid's schedule. I wake up to my littlest one crying. That is my alarm clock.
Yeah.
And it's whenever she decides to wake up, which it's either 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, or 7 o'clock in the morning. And there's no rhyme or reason. So I wake up to that, and that's when my day starts. I don't have my own routine in the morning. It is get up, get her ready. Then my other one gets up. I'm on my children's timeline. Yeah. My mornings are for them to get them ready to go to school and daycare. Whereas my husband gets up, he sets an alarm for whenever he decides to get up, and he does his thing, he showers, and he walks out the door.
Yeah.
And he works very hard, and his job is very difficult. I get it. So that's fine, but it's just like that mental difference is the thing that I'm exhausted from.
Yeah.
You
said it's good to be in a routine.
Yeah.
But you're like,
but I'm not in a routine. I'm in my kid's routine.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
I used to love my mornings. I'm a very type A personality. I love schedules. I love routines. And since my youngest, I'll be fair, it wasn't until I had my youngest that it's completely flown out the window. But, like I set my alarm, and I used to do things very set, and I loved my mornings, and now I hate my mornings because they're not mine.
Yeah. And I want to get up and like enjoy my morning.
See, and that's the thing. I even said like to my husband, because I've complained about it a lot, but like all I wish is my little one just, even if she woke up at 6 o'clock every single morning, if it was every day that it was 6 o'clock, fine. Yeah. Then I would schedule my mornings accordingly.
But it's totally
random. It's all over the place. I have zero routine, and it's infuriating.
Okay, so people say like, and I'm like the 5 a.m. club, the 5 a.m. club. Wake up early to be successful. And I'm like, I need to wake up early to be sane. Not successful, sane. I'm like, I need to start like getting up at 5 to like have my mental sanity.
You know what's so funny? So I'm all about the morning. I've watched so many things, read so many things about scheduling your mornings for success. Yeah. Doing things through the morning to build your whole day out for success. And it's like, okay, I'm over here, like, what's my morning as a mom? Yeah, I know. Because, like, I'm
I know they're like, work out in the morning, go, and I'm like, I can't leave the house in the morning. morning. Like,
Exactly.
how am I supposed to leave with my kids at home? Like,
Exactly.
I'm like, where, like, you know.
I'm actually at the point where I'm like trying to curate my own like mom 5 a.m. club, which is
Yeah.
not 5 a.m. It's probably more like 7 a.m. and it's with kids. So I
You're
have
like,
to
it's
figure it
5:30,
out.
it's 6, it's 5, it's 7. Yeah.
And that's the thing. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, how do we make this work for moms
Yeah.
who have kids who can't go to the gym in the mornings because
Yeah.
they're taking care of their kids? How do we do it with someone who doesn't have a set time that their kids wake up? Okay, like I'm trying to curate this in my brain,
Yeah.
and I have yet to come up with
And
a
you
good
like
solution.
lose your own, like, and because you're not in a routine, you forget stuff. And I think the first thing that goes for me anyway is like, I make myself a coffee in the morning, and then if my kids are up and whatever, it's like, okay, well, I take one sip of that coffee, and then I go and look at it an hour later, and I'm like, oh crap. And then like, okay, now my kids need to get dressed, my kids need to do this, and then I like look at the time, I'm like, oh, I didn't eat breakfast again today.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, and it's just like you forget about yourself at the end of the day because your kids need that routine, and I think that's like important, and I think a lot of moms understand that. So it's like I curate everything around my kids' routine, and I
Exactly.
forget about my own routine. It's like my own routine goes out the window because of it.
I know, and that's the problem, right? And that's where, like, you know, the juxtaposition with working with men and working women, it's so different, and
Totally.
the struggle's so different. And you know, everyone has these 5 a.m. clubs for men, or they're curated for men or by men.
Yeah.
Because they don't have those mental loads that women have,
Totally.
and like you wake up, and I'm constantly thinking about, okay, this is what needs to get done for them before my day even starts. My
Yeah.
day, frankly, my work days start at 9 o'clock because that's when they both are in school or daycare.
Yeah, if you drop them off, that's when it starts.
And it sucks because like I want to be a morning person. I used to be a morning person.
Yeah.
I want to be able to have the workout in the morning and be done with it for the day. I want to make sure I'm doing my meditations and gratitudes and setting it all up, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I do it when I freaking can.
Like I actually want to be a morning person too, but a morning person for myself, not a morning person for my kids.
I know.
You know?
And again, if I had the routine where she was getting up at the same time, I would even set my alarm half an hour before that and do my own thing.
Lay in bed.
Or
Like, who
whatever.
cares? Yeah.
Drink my tea, do
Yeah.
my morning gratitudes, write in my journal. I would love that. But she's all over the place,
Do you
so I
journal?
don't get that. I try to. I'm not as routine with it as I should,
Yeah.
but I do.
I
and
don't. I feel like I should.
I do. There's easy ones like 5-minute journal.
Yeah.
It literally takes you 2 minutes to
Yeah.
do. I'm supposed to do that every morning and every night before I go to bed. Well, my mornings aren't mine. My night times aren't mine.
Yeah.
I do
and your
them when I
kids are
can.
getting older too. Like your
Yeah.
8-year-old, you probably go to bed like close to the same time she does.
I am waiting for her to go to bed to go to
So
bed.
you can go to bed, yeah.
At 9 o'clock, like I'm like falling asleep on the couch. I'm like, hey, like Reese, you gotta go to bed because I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Like, good night.
Yeah, totally. I know that's like my fear because I'm like a 9 p.m. person too.
We just pushed it. She's asked to stay up till 9 because she's 8 now. And I'm like, oh, now I get no time by myself
I know.
before I go to bed. Because that's the other thing. Like,
And then your 2-year-old gets up at 5 in the morning.
yeah,
Like,
I used to, that was the other thing. Like, if she went to bed at 8 o'clock, or both my kids were going to bed at 8 or earlier, I also loved that time between 8 and 9 or 9:30 whenever I fell asleep. Like, that was my time to
Yeah.
sit and watch trash TV and do whatever.
Yeah.
And now I also don't get that because I go to bed at the same time as my 8-year-old.
yeah, it's tough. You literally don't have any time for yourself.
No.
Oh my God. At least you have like the day.
Yeah,
daycare
exactly.
stuff.
And
when your
again-
kids aren't sick though.
Yeah,
Then like then when your kids are sick, you have like literally no time.
I know, exactly. And that's the thing, but that's why I purposely curate time during the days for me.
Yeah.
Or I schedule it in my
Yeah.
Thursday nights are my me time because I have to schedule it in my calendar or it doesn't happen. So
Totally.
my husband does hockey once a week. I do yoga once a week. And
Yeah.
I have fallen off the wagon a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's in my calendar. I schedule it in
Yeah.
so that I don't skip it because it really does matter. I feel
Yeah.
every time I do yoga too, I walk out of there being like, oh, I'm so glad I did that.
Yeah.
It was an hour of complete, like my phone's off, no
Yeah.
kids. It's just me time and I need it so bad. And it's refreshing every time I do it.
What I have to learn is like sometimes my kids'
It's okay
schedule
to
can
let
change.
go.
Yeah. Like of the control.
Yeah, maybe we're a little type A.
Yeah.
We're a little
A
controlling,
little
but-
bit. Yeah, for
but
sure.
that's the thing. Like, again, I think it comes back to the mom mindset where you constantly have a to-do list. You constantly are running what needs to be done. And it's like, doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, pizza days, school plays. And it's like, we constantly have this going on in our brain.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to shut off. But I think we need to, give permission to ourselves to shut it off.
Yeah.
From time to time. Or be more lenient with ourselves. I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching. And if you do like it, please like the video. Check us out on Instagram. She's Homemade. And yeah, stay tuned for the next one.